Well, Mono County Sheriff Ralph Obenberger announced last week he has filed candidate nomination papers seeking to continue serving the residents of Mono County as their sheriff coroner. Obenberger's announcement says, quote, "Since being unanimously endorsed and appointed by the Mono County Board of Supervisors, I have made significant changes within the Sheriff's Office to enhance law enforcement safety for Mono County. These positive changes include permanently assigning a deputy sheriff to our school campuses to enhance security and to interact with the children, a proactive stance on fighting criminal and narcotic issues in both the county areas and the town of Mammoth Lakes, and obtaining funding of nearly $250,000 from the Community Corrections Partnership for upgrading technologies for jail security and dispatch services," end quote. Now you can see more information on Obenberger and his announcement on his website, ralphobenbergerforsheriff.com. Well, would-be Mammoth Town Council candidates now have until this Wednesday, March 12th, 5 p.m. to file candidacy papers with the town clerk. Now, since incumbents John Eastman, Matthew Lehman, and Rick Wood did not file, the deadline was extended from March 7th to the 12th. Now, as of Friday, 5 candidates had filed their nomination papers. They are John Wentworth, Deb Perrell, Karen Seibert, Ken Murray, and Alema Brogram. 3 others have pulled papers but have not yet returned them. Now, Clerk Jamie Gray also noted that during this extended period, all interested registered voters of the town of Mammoth Lakes, other than incumbents, may file as candidates for the office of member of the town council. For more information on this, contact Clerk Jamie Gray at 760-934-8989, extension 267. And Bennett Kessler filed this story with an argument that they have excluded the less wealthy in Mammoth Lakes from a seat on the town council. A majority of members voted to proceed to raise the $300 per month pay to the government code allowed $735. Mammoth Town Manager Dan Holler said he and the staff had questions about the council pay from some who would run for office. Holler said the salary was set in 1985 and never raised. Now, he added that council members do receive health insurance, and on average, Holler said, about $17,000 per year. Now, he made it clear that under state law for a city of Mammoth size, the pay can go up 5% per year. Now, that would allow the council to raise the monthly pay to $735, which is 5% for 29 years. The other options called for a ballot measure or switching to a charter city. Town attorney Andy Morse called that swatting a fly with a battleship. Now, John Eastman made it clear he would not support a pay raise. Matthew Lehman said he was, quote, very supportive. He said, quote, "This is not to make money, but prevent a town council member from losing money. There are a lot of people of certain demographics who want their voice heard. They are discouraged if they spend so much time that they lose money," end quote. Now, Councilman Lehman said this would encourage younger people and a different spectrum of people to run for office. Councilman Michael Raimondo agreed, and Councilwoman Joe Bacon said it's like a job running a corporation at very little salary. Said Bacon, quote, "I agree totally with Matthew Lehman," end quote. Now, Mayor Rick Wood said the pay raise would amount to a $30,000 budget increase. Said Wood, quote, "I don't want to do this until we have a budget discussion," end quote. Now, Joe Bacon pointed out that if the council waited until budget time, a vote on a pay raise would not take effect until June of 2016. If they voted immediately, the pay increase would become effective after this June's election. Eastman said it sends the wrong message to the town staff and to the community. Said Eastman, quote, "We have a tremendous population of workers for whom things are not going well," end quote. He named 3 years of below normal precipitation and the recession. Said Rick Wood, quote, "We don't run for town council for the money," end quote. Now, Matthew Lehman said he agreed but held his ground on, quote, "another demographic that can't afford to hold office," end quote. Now, Lehman made the motion to move forward with a pay raise to $735 per month that would be, quote, "effective as soon as legally possible," end quote. Joe Bacon offered a second. The motion passed on a 3-2 vote, with Eastman and Wood voting no. Well, Bennett Kessler filed this story. The Bishop City Council will start off their meeting tonight with a personal community note. The Quarterly Citizens Award will go to Roberta Cummings. Now, other city business with a public hearing and action on the housing element update. The council will also hold a public hearing on a zoning regulation amending the C1 zone permitted uses. Now, this involves allowing as permitted uses retail sales outside of a building on private property by peddlers, solicitors, and transient vendors who hold a city license. Now, the Bishop City Council has also selected a Fullerton, California law firm as the new contract city attorney. Longtime city attorney Peter Tracy had announced he would retire in April, and tonight the Bishop City Council will consider a formal agreement with the law firm of Jones and Mayer. Ryan Jones of that firm would be the designated city attorney, and Dean Pucci would become the assistant city attorney. The city would pay a retainer of $5,500 per month. Separately, litigation would be billed at $185 per hour. And the Bishop City Council will consider the approval of a memorandum of understanding with Kern Community College District to provide police officer standards and training classes locally. Well, for the first time in Inyo and Mono counties, Caltrans has began using an anti-icing solution called salt brine on state highways in the eastern Sierra, and that melts snow more quickly and reduces the chance of dangerous ice forming on the pavement, according to a press release from Caltrans. Now, said Caltrans District 9 Director Tom Hallenbeck, quote, "This is a win for everyone. We're making winter driving safer for the public, and we're also saving taxpayers money. It takes 4 times less salt to prevent ice from forming than to remove the ice after it is formed," end quote. Now, salt brine, according to that press release, is also more environmentally friendly. 1/3 less salt is used in the mixture when compared with other methods, and highways and bridges treated with brine will resist frost for several days per application. Now, this decreases the length of time chain controls are in effect, the amount of traction sand used, and highway workers' exposure to moving traffic. Now, Caltrans sprays the solution onto a highway prior to the arrival of a winter storm, a proactive approach to winter road maintenance called anti-icing. In the same way that a light coat of cooking oil in a frying pan prevents food from sticking, the press release states the salt brine treatments prevent significant amounts of ice from building up on highways, making them easier to plow. We'll be back with a weather report.